General Secretary of the National Labour Council in Albania. There is a tripartite ILO-style body with the representation of the government, made by 7 ministers, of the employers and employees. As I think you know, Albania is a small country with a small GDP, $11.46 billion. So it's not a big part of the European in general and of the Balkans economy. But we have a lot of cross-border companies, because a great part of the companies that are present in Albania have or another so the holding in Europe or is part of a European group. We made a lot of approximation of the legislation in Albania in 4 or 5 years, but we have a lot of to do in this direction, especially after that we have amended the labor code, giving a lot of rights, participation rights, and other kinds of workers' possibility. We want to continue with the commercial legislation and on the freedom to provide cross-border services. The roadmap for alignment on legislation on cross-border services with the Service Directive was approved. The Services Directive should strengthen the capacity and human resources of the responsible institutions. In the era of commercial companies law concerning cross-border mergers of commercial companies legislation has been adopted in line with the European acquis. We are not yet an European country, we are a candidate to the European Union, but we are trying to make all kind of approximation with the European legislation, with the European directives. The National Registration Center in Albania, that now is in the same body with the National Center of Licensing, has applied the legislation relating to the registration of privately owned companies, preparation for approximation on legislation with the acquis, reporting and documentation requirements for mergers and divisions of company are on the right way. So we think that in a short time we will have more practical data, because in the 4 pillars of Stabilization Association Agreement, community freedoms, occupy an important place for the approach of implementation of the provisions with regard to the implementation of the European single market, to which we are not still part. The state does not become part of a single market without implementation of the relevant provisions concerning services and economic criteria, where provisions of freedom to provide and establish cross-border services. Freedoms and services is a separate chapter of the European acquis with priority countries aimed at increasing employment, foreign investment and prosperity, and the progressive development of the economy, especially with the Albanian economy, that is a small one that needs a lot of foreign investment. The focus of this analysis is the approach of provisions for services and establishment, as well as the steps taken by our country in the period after the ratification of the Stabilization Association Agreement, which consists in 4 main pillars: European single market and community freedoms. In addition, the Albanian state is currently engaged with specific obligation in the path of integration into the European Union. In this framework, a new impulse rules is needed parallel with the request that Albania, as a candidate country, like I said, to acquire membership and new perspective in internal market and services, essential prerequisite of employment and economic development of all countries. The right of establishment consists, like as you know, of the right of establishment of companies firms under Article 54 of the Treaty on Functioning of the European Union, which states that companies or firms means companies or firms constituted under civil or commercial law, including cooperative societies, and other legal persons governed by public or private law, except those which are not profit. And the right to travel, resident permit, remaining in the United States. We have also, in the commercial legislation, made a big step with the one-stop shop registration body. That is the body when a company may exercise the right of establishment, taking part in primary company formation in another member state. And this is valid also in the border countries that 3 of 4 of them are not part of the European Union. The secondary, in the case of generally exercised by creating agency branches or subsidiary in another member state, is provided by Article 49 Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union. We have also the possibility for the foreign companies to establish an agency that we call an agency that is part of a foreign group, but have no all the organization that the company may have. Member states follow 2 principles regarding the establishment of companies: the principle of creation and incorporation of the company, and the principle of headquarters, central offices. The principle of creation is the one that makes the society to be related to the jurisdiction of the member state of its establishment, who runs it, the organization and the internal relations of its legal personality and legal capacity in her life as a company. In principle, the headquarters has the connector seat factor on the real society office. For countries that are not European Union member, like Albania, states that there is no obligation to implement the act issued by the European Union. However, Albania, which is in the process of integration and has signed a stabilization and association agreement, arises series of obligations, of which the most important is the approximation of national legislation with EU acquis, or the acquis of the European Union. Albania, due to commitment undertaken by this agreement, has begun the process of harmonization of legislation as a preparatory stage in the integration of Albania into the European Union. But this is not our big problem. We don't have legislation problems. We have practice problem. Our companies and our trade unions are in the first stage on the application of this very good legislation that we have. A great part of trade unions are in former ex-stattal companies, and we have to improve the trade union organization in the other companies in Albania. In this context, a number of amendments were made to the current legislation to achieve alignment of legislation, like Law Number 9901 on traders and trading companies, which reflects the content of European Union Directive on businesses. The cross-border mergers of companies covered by the directive which this conference made, the laws of the member states require the completion of specific formalities before the transfer of assets, rights and liabilities of the companies participating in the merger have legal effects against third parties. Those formalities performed by the company arising from cross-border merger. In order for cross-border mergers to be accessible to companies involved, the concept of limited liability company must be adapted for the integration on a merger project to exist. The right and obligation of companies participating in the merger arising out of contracts of employment relationship which exist at the date at which begins to have legal consequences cross-border mergers will pass through the start of legal consequences. The company that arising from cross-border merger on the date of which begins the cross-border have legal consequences. If we compare the rule for the creation of companies before the legal amendments, we can say that the right to participate raised diverse challenges for shareholders depending on the employee representatives and the company representative. For the workers or worker representing others at the management board or supervisory body of the company, it's very difficult, also in Albania, like I think in every other country, to be part of the decision-making process. And we are trying, using the other body that we have, this possibility, for this kind of solution, like the Labor State Inspectorate or the tax body. So the Labor State Inspectorate tried to solve all the issues on the problematic application of the commercial law. But in the moment that they cannot solve the situation, the tax body tried to complete this process. We hope that during this conference we will try to find other way of solutions of our problems that we have now in Albania. So we can follow the way that other countries have made on this field. Again, thank you very much for the invitation.